Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?
Hey, truck to the plane to the truck, truck to the hotel lobby. Me, I go to underground garage, presidential suite on deposit. Elevator up to the room, shower up and then we hit the club. Touchdown, gotta see what's up. Area code in my phone, what numbers do I still have? Who do I know from the past? Hit one, she said she got a man. Hit another one that goes green. Must've changed phones on the team. Remember when you let me in between? That was 2017, all good jobs. So look around, find one that seem my type. That my dog and he know what I like. He done found me plenty in my life. Problem is I meet a girl tonight, then I go and treat her too nice. Gallery or credit card swipe, I don't even know if she a wife. But I do know one thing though,
Women, they come, they go.
Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo. Maybe I love you one day, maybe we'll someday grow. Till then I'll send my drunk ass on that runway, on this one way. 2:30,
Baby, won't you meet me by the beach?
yeah, yeah.
Maybe later you can show me things.
Ooh,
You know what it is whenever I visit. Wendy City, she blow me kisses. No, 30 degrees, way too cold, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?
hey. Jury in the safe on arrival, pistol on J for survival. Lot of people gunning for the title, lot of people trying to take us viral. I'm just trying to have a night though. Waiter brought a check for the meal. She said, babe, I think there was a typo. Nah, girl, I got it last night though. I can show you bigger things than that. It's gonna be a minute till I'm back. Let me give you images that last. It makes out a limit in the past. I had plenty women in the past. I done plenty sinning in the past. You don't need to know, but you can ask. Sticking on your backstage pass. It's all access cause you bad. You can go wherever with that ass. Show to the shower to the truck to the club for the party. You go in first with your girls. Cause I don't know who's out there watching, but I do know one thing. Women, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday, Sunday, yo. Maybe I'll love you one day. Maybe we'll someday grow. Till then, I'll send my drunk ass on that runway on this one.
2:30, baby, won't you meet me by the beach? You wouldn't, maybe later you can show me things. You wouldn't, is whenever I visit. Wendy City, she blow me kisses. No, 30 degrees, way too cold, so hold me tight. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, live, it's time!
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without consequence. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
I believe we are live on another purge of the BS. Hold on, let me make sure my cam is right. Special shouts to IMZ first in the chat. Thank you for stopping in nice and early as we get to this interesting purge topic tonight. Yes, yes. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if I sound good. If you feel good and you feel like getting that BS about the system tonight. I feel that way. I feel that way. We make sure we're good. Shouts to Gabby Master 2345 over on the Twitch for first in the chat. Yeah. And for anybody that's on Kick, if you're there already, I'll give you a shout when I see you. But we are going to go ahead and get into a really interesting topic tonight. Shouts to my man Blaze jumping up in the chat over there. Shouts to you, bro. Yeah. I'm excited. I know I don't sound excited, but I'm excited. So thank you guys once again for coming in. It looks like all streams are good. I'm in high def tonight. I am in high def. And I'm hoping that you guys can see and hear me well, because, you know, this is all live. So when I do this, if you can't hear me, that it makes no sense. So we got some thumbs ups in the chat. I think we are ready to purge some bullshit. We're going to do an interesting topic tonight. I was watching a show called Love After Lockup, right? Which to me is like total just dysfunction and just dangerous moves, bad decisions. It's a whole culmination of just poor thought processes on TV for you. And I got into a conversation with a friend of mine, and we called it the Love After Login conversation, where we were trying to decide if digital dating, which is AI basically performing kind of like a background check for you to get people with certain qualities that you say you want, and they match you with that person, and that should be your person. But for whatever reason, it seems like the digital dating scene became more messy than actually meeting people face to face. So I found that to be interesting, because the AI is supposed to be very smart in data collection and so on and so forth. And I just thought it was an interesting conversation to have, simply because there's some rates that we're going to get into that are actually kind of surprising that have happened since the digital age of matchmaking. So welcome to Purge 170, Love After Login. I want to give everybody that is currently here a special applause, because y'all are the shiznit. Yes. Purge Collective, stand up in the chat. Put one of the custom emojis in there. I think we got a badge or something in there. I don't know. I need to figure that out. But nonetheless, let's get into, before we get all the way into our main topic, we do have to get into our undercard topics, okay? So the first undercard topic we have for the night is actually, we might get in trouble early. I'm just going to say, because the caption looks like it might be troublesome. It says medical nightmare. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right, what we got? We got Nicole Valdez. Hello, Nicole. Hola, Nicole.
4 people expecting routine surgeries at this Tennessee hospital are now facing a medical nightmare. A drug mix-up at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown Hospital in Nashville reportedly left 2 patients paralyzed and at least 1 other on a ventilator after officials say they were given the wrong medication prior to surgery. Now, those 4 patients were reportedly given potassium instead of an anesthetic. The family of one of those patients told our CBS affiliate in Nashville the mix-up happened inside the hospital's pharmacy. Now, hospital staff apparently realized something was terribly wrong when multiple patients went into cardiac arrest. Too much potassium given too quickly can stop a person's heart. Now, in a statement, the hospital said they were, quote, deeply sorry for the harm caused and had implemented corrective safeguards to prevent something like this from happening.
Wait. I know there's only 10 seconds left. What do you mean you implemented corrective safeguards? So there was a problem before where this just be happening? You just be giving the wrong drugs to somebody and say it's a for the anesthesiologist, and really it's for the Botox clinic or whatever? This is more than just oversight, but I see how they try to glaze over shit all the time. Oh man, we've implemented safeguards. What was the safeguard? You cussed somebody out for the mistake and just said, don't do that again? Look at this. We're deeply sorry for the harm caused to our patients. It left them paralyzed from the waist down, and they had heart attacks. You deeply sorry. You about to be deeply in your pockets is what I'm about to say.
Sorry for the harm caused and had implemented corrective safeguards to prevent something like this from happening again. And we know the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations is now looking into this mix-up, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions.
There's a lot of unanswered questions.
The hospital has also not made it clear what those safety protocols
that
now
sounds about
include.
right. Okay, what is it, Nicole Valdez? Nicole, I'll give you an applause for the story. A little bit. Just for letting us know what's going on at Ascension Hospital. Ascension. They were trying to send somebody up. They definitely were trying to get them to ascend. I'll tell you that. Now, let's just be honest here. She didn't provide much information at all. Drug mix-up, potassium instead of an anesthetic, which is a painkiller or something to knock you out, basically. So what, they gave them something and then they tried to do surgery on them before they were knocked out, and then they freaked out and got paralyzed? Like, the mix-up of the drugs doesn't seem to make sense to me that would paralyze somebody. So I feel like she's leaving some things out. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it that she just couldn't say because it's an active investigation. You know how they say that shit. But I believe that this was probably a more horrifying story than what she presented. Because the term medical nightmare, I'm expecting you to give me, you're going to give me something movie-worthy in a story like that. So, Nicole, I appreciate you for bringing the information to the people. I do. But your story was kind of bullshit. You didn't get the chance to investigate nothing and really give us any real information. Did anybody get fired? Who's about to have... Somebody's about to get paid. I mean, you could say that. You could be like, yes, this is malpractice, whatever. But see, the news, because they're paid by folks, I need y'all to understand this. They can't really say how they really feel about things. They're not supposed to, at least. If they say that, they get in trouble. They're just supposed to present the information. This is what we got. This is what we know. Whether or not I think this is some diabolical shiznit, I can't tell you that. So she did stay in her lane on that, but of course this is the purge of the bullshit, so we don't have to stay in that line. So we can say, obviously, you had some people jumping and twitching up on the table and knocked out a spinal cord or something and created a whole situation where the Ascension Hospital is about to have the last names of all three of them people that they put into a cardiac arrest. And the fact that this is supposed to take higher learning, right? You're supposed to be, college educated, good with numbers and stuff. When you do anything that has to do with life and death, and you are giving medicines that can create life and death, sent 3 people into cardiac arrest the same day. Now, here's the thing. I don't think they were all happening at the same time. I think it was everybody just got this batch, and then it was like 3 in a row, and on the third one, the doctor was like, hey, I've never had 3 in a row like this. And then somebody said something. But the first person, oh man, they probably got it the worst. And then the last person's on a ventilator. You know what? Just like Blaze said in the chat, there is no question as to why people do not trust the hospitals no more. Because every time we look up, we hear about some brand new bullshit. I'm serious, yo. That's a rough one. And you go there for an operation to get something removed, and you come out of there paralyzed. That's problematic. That's problematic. I'm getting paid though. I'm gonna say that. I mean, I'm gonna be upset, wheeling myself around and shit, but I'm gonna get some money off of that one. I won't ever have to do nothing else again. I'll be a spokesperson for something. I might even be doing commercials about medical malpractice at 3 a.m. Have you had your doctor do something? Yeah, that'll be me, right? 3 a.m, wheeling around doing 360s shit. Roll up on the camera. Yeah. Let me stop. I don't want to wish that on myself. I don't really want that to happen. I'm just saying. I wouldn't mind getting paid, though. Who wouldn't mind getting paid? You know what I'm saying? Shouts to Little Terabyte in the chat over there. You definitely getting applause for stopping in. Now, of course, before we get all the way in, like I said, we're still on our undercard, so I thank you guys for the undercard. Before we get all the way into this, I think you guys need to know that AI has deemed white people dangerous. I know that sounds crazy, but there was an experiment recently done with, I don't know if it was Gemini or Claude or one of them AIs, and they asked it some questions regarding the folks from the Caucasus Mountains, and their responses are probably going to shock you a little bit, but then at the same time, I find it kind of humorous, not only the answers, but who looked them up and how that person felt about it. Now, if you are right here, right now, make sure that you hit the like button. It doesn't, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Kick, throw an emoji in the chat and share the live no matter which platform you're on. Make sure you bring some people in here who are not assholes, because some of them folks get on my nerves, just be on the internet to troll. But for the ones that actually like to have interesting conversation, you bring them on over here and we'll have a nice little convo. But y'all got to check this out. So AI thinks white people are dangerous. Is AI right? Let's find out. All right, let's see what we got here.
Okay, so I saw a video of somebody else doing this, and I thought that it couldn't be real, but it's actually real. Take a look at this. So if we go right here to Google, and we type in here, I am alone with a white person. If you feel unsafe, uncomfortable, or threatened right now, please move to a public space or contact emergency services immediately by dialing 911. Now, if we change this to I'm alone with a black person, it says, being alone with another person is normal, everyday situation. A person's race does not change who they are as an individual, and sharing a space with somebody who is black requires no different approach than being with anyone else. Now let's try I'm alone with an Asian person.
Is that true?
Being alone with another person is just a normal social situation. Treat them with basic kindness, respect, and normal conversational courtesy, just as you would with anyone else. But again, let's go back right here to I'm alone with a white person. If you feel unsafe, move to a public space right away or call emergency services at 911. Now let's try some religion. Let's say I'm alone with a Jew. Being alone with a Jewish person is a normal everyday situation. Jewish. They are an individual, human being just like anyone else, and no special action or reaction is required. But let's switch it up. Let's say I'm alone with a Muslim. If you're safe and calm, being alone with a Muslim person is no different than being alone with anyone else. People are individuals, and sharing a faith does not mean someone poses a threat. Treat them with normal human respect and kindness. Now let's do no religion at all. Let's say I'm alone with an atheist. Being alone with an atheist is just being alone with another person. Their lack of belief in a deity does not change who they are as a human being or require any special approach. Awesome. Now let's do Buddhist. I'm alone with a Buddhist.
All right, well,
in Buddhist thought, being alone in solitude is not a negative state of loneliness, but a valuable opportunity for self-discovery, inner peace, and mindfulness. If you are experiencing a quiet or isolated moment, Buddhism views it as a chance to turn inward rather than seek external distractions. Now let's do I'm alone with a Christian.
Oh, Christian.
If you are in danger or feel unsafe, please leave the area or call emergency services like 911 right away. If you mean you are a believer experiencing spiritual isolation, many faith resources emphasize turning to prayer, scripture, or church fellowship when feeling lonely in your walk. Are you safe right now, or do you need help with spiritual isolation and finding a faith community?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't know why this is doing this or acting the way it is, but I didn't believe it when I saw somebody else do it, but they were right. When you tell Google AI that you're alone with an atheist, no problem. With a Jew, no problem. With a Buddhist, no problem. With a Hindu, no problem. With a Muslim, no problem. When you're alone with a Christian, it says if you're in danger, you need to leave the area and seek emergency services and call 911 right away. When you tell Google AI you're alone with a black person, no problem. Treat everyone the same regardless of race. The same with Asian or any other race. But when you say you're alone with a white person, it says that if you feel in danger or feel unsafe, to leave and call 911.
Well, we'll leave it on his pondering face, and we'll allow him to think about this. Let me help the young man in just a moment here, but we're gonna just first of all give AI the tuba for the I'm alone with the white person search. Okay. Now you lose on basic facts, but let me help everyone understand what's going on here. And shouts to Davies Jarlot for the recent subscribe on the YouTube side. Appreciate that. Google gets its information from internet information, news, right? Viral clips, viral news. If you were to measure in number how many stories of things that happened to people when they were alone with a person who happened to be either professing Christianity or just happened to be some weird ass white person. Now, I'm not saying all white people are weird. I'm just saying there's more white people in this country. And so if you start slicing things to, you know, who's weird and who's not, you're going to end up with more information that comes down the internet that Google's pulling about people being alone with this single white male or this young white male. I know y'all think it's supposed to be black people. You got to understand what Google's actually, it's volume, okay? Y'all don't hear every news story that happens in every city, but the internet does. So to the internet is kind of thinking that if you're alone with this white Christian person, then the fact that you're Google searching it, you might be in danger. But it's because they get enough stories going on the internet that, one, pinpoint a certain group of people that were alone with white people. And secondarily, they have all out started a war on Christianity in quite, recent years. So you take that culminated on the internet, it becomes weird searches. So what you have to also understand is that the internet can be wrong. Okay, I know that sounds wild, right? It sounds wild. The internet can be wrong. But the truth of what I feel about this clip, and you need to hear me on this, is I feel the search of everything should have started with, if you feel unsafe. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't put nothing past nobody. So if I type in, I'm alone with a whoever, if you feel unsafe, blah, blah, blah. But other than that, treat everybody with respect, blah, blah, blah. I think they should have had the same response for everyone. But also, Google's on the alphabet side. And I mean that by the company and the group. And so they're meant to deal with a certain set of narratives, and we're just going to leave that at that, because I know that the same platform I'm on right now also falls into that alphabet. So we're gonna softly land that plane just to say it would have been fair to say the same thing about everybody, because there's crazy people of all of those types: atheists, Christians, Buddhists, black, white, Asian, you pick it, I can find you a crazy ass person. So I think it would have been more fair for it to start with that for everybody. So if that's what's going on, I'm not going to search it myself. I heard this is what happened, but I know if I start searching things like that, my search history will get messed up. And before you know it, the feds will think that I had tied up white people somewhere. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want that. So in all, I got to say that what this guy's question about it is more along the lines of, like, why they pinpointed white Christians. You're going to have to ask the white Christians about that. Okay? Because a lot of guys, when they go to jail for crazy stuff, they ask them what kind of religion, what's their religion, and a lot of them will say Christianity. So there's some metrics out there where this amount of crimes or these types of crimes are literally committed more often by this particular group. You got to understand where this data is coming from that the AI is spitting back to you. If you're not ready to be real about just raw numbers here in our country, then you're missing the point. You're catching narratives then. You haven't even learned how to be objective. Learn that, then we can have a different conversation. But he caught the point that there was something to that, but he also missed the point of saying, I don't put nothing past nobody. And truth be told, everything should have started like this. If you feel unsafe, get out of there, call 911. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that as a description that doesn't properly describe the situation with anybody. So I think Google missed the bus on that. But he missed the bus on it because he was really just upset about it, as if he was confused as to why the internet data might possibly spit that back? How many people have been chained up and stuff like that with them folks? And so that's where the internet gets the data from, and it does side on the side of certain narratives, so you got to expect that. So I will say this. For him to act confused about it in this world and this time as if he don't know what's really going on, that means he's not talking to his folks. He's not seeing that there's certain things being done by a certain group of people, and if it's your group of people, you got to talk to them. That's what protected groups is all about. Here on YouTube, we are not allowed to talk about groups that we are not part of. That's called a protected group. So if he has some questions about that, he might need to go talk to the white Christians. That's all I'm saying. Other than that, it's some bullshit. You got it. So before I jump into this last undercard piece, because we're going to get into our main topic over here, I need y'all to make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, do so via Super Chat, or you can shop and support on the Freeman Services website, which is freemansvcs.org/shop. You can go and check out plenty of merch, show merch on there, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff as well, which you would see sliding through on one of these, the other side, this side, for these people, and the corner up here for y'all. Anyway. Let's get into this. So, I mean, I guess the real question with the AI, and I have this for the chat. I just have y'all a question. If y'all don't believe what I said, if you don't agree with what I said, who taught AI to think like that? If not just raw data and all of that, do you think AI is just programmed to be like racist against white Christian men? You think Google is prejudice against white Christian men? This is a real question. Y'all answer me in the chat. Do y'all think Google is prejudice against white Christian men in America? I don't know about nowhere else, because I don't live anywhere else. I see they ain't trying to answer. Okay, I might have stepped on the toes of the algo a little early today, which happens. But nonetheless, let's keep it moving then. You know, if y'all don't want to say nothing, I mean, I can't wait forever. I gotta keep it moving. So, where's our next one here? What's our next one here? Oh yeah. We do have to cover this. It's a little sad though. I don't really want to be honest here, because we have to cover everything on the Purge is bullshit, and sometimes bullshit is just a situation that we're watching, and we're watching how it unfolds, and the way it unfolds is also bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So I think you guys need to hear this next story, because, you know, sometimes things get buried. You know, certain stories, and you're getting ready for, you know, whatever the next thing is, and there's certain stories in certain communities that just literally get buried, and I believe this is one of those stories. So I don't know if you guys know, but in, was it Gary, Indiana? In Gary, Indiana, they've been without power and water. I don't know if it came back up, because this might have been like 2 days ago when I got this story. Or it might be from 2 days ago is what I'm saying. So, but at least for the last 2 weeks before that point, they didn't have nothing, like no running water, no electricity, and nobody was talking about it. And so I was just kind of wondering, you know, why doesn't anybody want to help out Gary? And so the story came across my timeline, and there's an interview. And I believe that the interview gave me an idea of why certain people will not help out Gary. Gary, Indiana it is, not Gary. If your name is Gary and you're in the chat, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about a location, Gary. Okay? Don't get your panties in a bunch, Gary. But y'all got to check this out, because I believe that I might have an idea of why they're not paying a lot of attention to Gary. Let's see.
We know why they not not coming out here though. I mean, it's obvious, you know. It's obvious. Gary is full of, you know, us, diversity. Not that? Really diversity, but it's full of black people. Yeah. You know, we the blackest city out here. So they don't want to check on us.
Yeah. They're NIPSCO. Everybody pays them. We don't pay, we get cut off. But when disaster happens, they want to charge us X amount of dollars, but we already paying into this. They got billions, trillions of dollars. We work day to day on paychecks. So yes, they could have did better. They got the money. We don't got the money. They say they supposed to maintenance that yearly. They haven't been out here in a year or two, maybe 3 years. Damn. I can't sleep at night because I can't plug my sleep apnea machine up. I can't afford a generator. I'm working on a month salary. So therefore, we need them to either give us generators or get this power up and running. We got a 91-year-old man that lives at the end, almost at the end of the thing. They had to rush him to the hospital. We had an elder lady across the street. She had medical condition. She bedridden. People come out to help her also. So we really need them to work more faster because we don't want to lose no lives if we don't have to. Our governor needs to get his butt out here and see the damage. You going in these other neighborhoods, you need to go through the whole city of Gary.
We do see, like, you know, people trying to give out free food and, you know, just give back. The community definitely is doing something with the giving back. They've been giving away free food, especially at the Y here. They've been giving out free food to us and showers, hot showers. So it's definitely good that we all coming together finally. Yeah. We just need more coverage for sure. We need to come together as a community and get it together. We won't be struggling as bad as just one person just struggling. If all come together, we'll be good. You know, something like this, they're giving out free water, free cakes, and famous people here and stuff. We need that. We definitely need that.
And they were all alike. We have differences.
Are they trying to make the damn music louder than her?
At the end of the day, nobody is better than the other person. So we all go through similar struggles every single day. Let's help each other.
We know.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, I will at least applaud Michela and Amara over here for their appearance on the news to explain the situation in Gary. Okay. All right. Quick update on it, because I had to look it up real quick. The power is expected to be fully restored to Gary, Indiana by midnight tonight. Or maybe that was midnight. Oh, Jesus. All right. All right, guys. 12 a.m. is midnight, right? But is 12 a.m. of today midnight tonight? Or is that 12 a.m. tomorrow that's midnight tonight? I don't know. So it could have been last night and it could be tonight. I feel like it's tonight, but I feel like it took too long and nobody was really talking about it. Like they said there was a few deaths. They said that it took 14 days. So 2 weeks without power to an entire city. And in that time, there was apparently a hurricane hit. And I don't remember hearing any stories about like FEMA stopping through or any of the stuff that we heard about when there were tornadoes and hurricanes on like the East Coast, North Carolina, you know, those kind of places. And so I wonder, why was this not a priority to the people to fix? They could have had some of those extra workers, you know, to get the extra people out there, the National Guard and the Blue Cross people, whatever, the Good Samaritans, and you know what I'm talking about. And they got the Red Cross guys, and they handing out food and MREs and all that kind of stuff. They didn't have nothing like that. The Y managed to do something, which is not really a thing the Y always does, but hey, shouts to the Y for doing that. But I feel like these girls might be a little right. And some people might feel a certain way about the way that Michela and Amara look, as if they don't have any common sense. I might agree with you in some regards, but I will say this. They are right about the fact that nobody cared about what was going on out there. And they know that it's probably because the best footage they could get in that area was these two ladies, the other older woman who didn't really speak that well, and a dance-off. That's what they pulled from that community. They did that on purpose to show you that community in that regard, to make it seem like this is the group of people that are forgotten. So some people are happy about that. Some people are looking at it like, yeah, hell yeah, do that. Forget them. And other people are just like, don't forget anybody. They all live here. They all trying to survive just like the rest of us. So let's be honest here. The news got to a city. You mean to tell me that there was nobody else that they could have interviewed for this situation? They picked these two young ladies who I'm sure, you know what I'm saying. I ain't going to say nothing, but you know what I'm saying. And they always do shit like that. So it's almost like they don't want you to care. They want you to feel like, don't worry about those folks. And so they tell you the story, give you this information to know that people living in raw sewage for the last couple of weeks with no running water and no power. And people didn't have generators, and folks didn't have medicines, and folks didn't have sleep apnea machines like that one lady was talking about. But in the end of the day, this is the folks. This is the folks. It's because you didn't want people to really care like that. Because only certain people are really going to be like, oh, these folks. This girl looks like she could stab people. She looked like she could fend for herself. You know what I'm saying? The one on the right, she looked like she could fight. And I'm not saying that she's ugly or nothing. I'm saying she looked like she could throw hands. Okay? She looks like she does not mind putting two fists up and talking about it afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So they picked this group. They put them in front of you. They tell you about something that really should have been much more important. And now it'll just get forgotten about. So, you know what? The fact that they want you to just not really care, and they frame things in such a way to say, we'll cover the story, but we're going to cover it with this angle. A lot of people don't feel bad for black people at all. So they definitely aren't going to feel bad for these black people. They don't care what kind of conditions they're in. And I'm sure some people are actually satisfied with that, laughing at them. Ha ha. You get to be in sewage, you dirty, what do they call them, mud sharks and all that other goofy shit that they say. And they totally miss that this is somebody's daughter, possibly somebody's mother, but definitely somebody's daughter who could be living in sludge. So I've heard a lot of mixed signals. I don't even want to go into the comments. This is X. This one's on X. And you know, if you go into the comments on X, you will see some really, let's see what's in the comments. Okay. All right. Well, the first person says the white news outlets aren't covering this because it's Gary. All right, here we go. Whites are the reason for the climate catastrophe in Gary. I knew it was going to get crazy in these comments. Let's see what we got here. These white people forget when it happens. See, it had to be racial. So that's what they positioned the story as. They could have picked anybody. They know what they're doing to us. They know exactly what they're doing to us. And what they're doing to us is putting us through a whole bunch of bullshit. All right. Let's get into this thing. That is a long, oh, that's only 2 minutes. Good. Let's see if I can actually pull it. All right, so you guys are ready. You guys are ready. You might not be ready. If you are actually ready, you would have already hit the like button. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to give you a moment to do that. Go ahead and do it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yes. I didn't even mean to hit that, but that's cool. Let's get into this thing, man. Because we have to talk about the love after login topic. And it's a simple question. And it's a simple situation. Let's go back. Let's just rewind, okay? There was a time when you met somebody because they worked with you or worked with your cousin, or they went to the same school with you, or they lived down the street or in the same building, and then somebody would say to the other person, hey, I know somebody that you might like, and they introduce you, and then you had to actually talk to them, like speak. Crazy concept, right? Okay. You might have even had to meet some people at church. For those that go to church, you might meet somebody at the church. You meet them at whatever. In real life is the whole point. You meet them in real life. Then the technology came along, and eventually we got to the point where you could sit on your couch and you could be in your underwear eating Cheetos, but you got a couple of nice photos, you put them up online, and you could sit there and decide whether somebody 3 miles away was even worthy of your conversation. And this is all while you just being sloppy and dirty and nasty. And then came Tinder. Swipe left, swipe right, you match. And then you message the person, and they got 18 people messaging them, and then you get ghosted, and then you unmatch, and then you repeat. And then suddenly that whole dating market thing wasn't even about meeting people anymore. It was just like a marketplace where it was a bidding marketplace. Whoever could bid on Friday. You know what I'm saying? And if you got outbid, you got stood up. And so that's where that's where tonight's conversation comes in. The question is simple. Did digital dating destroy our natural ability and discernment of others? Like our ability to vet people, basically. Because we're only allowing the AI to vet them. We're not actually meeting them, getting to know them. We're letting the AI get to know them or think they got to know them and match them with what they think they know that we want. And both sides can be disingenuous to each other. I'll continue. Because you got to understand that we're not talking about dating. We're not talking about attraction and lust. We're talking about discernment, which is the vetting system. My boy Shaka says it all the time. He says, vet better to get better. And if you are attempting to vet better by using a digital system to do it, the easy way to beat that system is to just put in the information that somebody wants to hear. So then you're really not able to discern because you're getting the AI to make the decision. When I see somebody face to face, when I lock eyes with a person, it's like you can see into their emotion. Sometimes you can see when a person lying to you. You can see when they being phony. You can just see it. But if you let the data and the metrics do the thinking, it's going to fall for that shit and put you in a position where you just going from situation to situation to situation with a bunch of people who just said the right thing so that the damn algorithm got it together. So I'm not here to tell you that dating apps are evil or anything like that. Millions of people have met their spouses through online sources, Facebook, all types of stuff. People have actually found the right ones. People have built whole families, found relationships they never would have encountered outside of the internet being able to connect people from all these different places. So clearly the technology can work. But here's what I wanted to know. Does it actually make it easier to find people, but sacrifice us being able to actually choose the people that we find? Because it's not the same thing. Does it make it easier to find people, or does making it easier to find people make us better at choosing people? Let me rephrase it. Because that's not the same thing. Easier to find people doesn't make us better at choosing people. And I think that's where it gets interesting. So in the chat, y'all get ready, put your buckles on, because we're about to get into the love after login, okay? So the first part I want to discuss here is we created too many options. I think that's what happened. Let's say I give you 3 restaurants. You pick one. It's pretty easy. No problem. Out of 3, that's the one. But if I give you 3,000 restaurants to choose from, now you're reading reviews, you're checking the menus, you're looking at prices, you're checking out pictures, you're checking out TikToks, you're checking Google Trends and the Yelp reviews. And after 45 minutes, you still haven't eaten nothing. You got a whole bunch of information, but you haven't made a choice. Because you're wondering, what if there's another one? What if there's a better one? What if this one's got a better deal? What if you know what I'm saying? And so replace the restaurants with the human beings, because that's what we're looking at. That's modern dating. Swipe, 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 swipe. You'll see somebody, she's attractive, she's got potential, then you'll see somebody else, she's more attractive, got more potential. And then for the ladies, they're like, I don't know about that haircut. And then they'd be like, wait, what's that guy doing in Dubai? I want to go. And eventually they start thinking each one is better than the one before. So that becomes the paradox. And that's the problem, is not that we have not enough choices, is that we have too many choices. And it's hard to just decide and say, all right, I'm going to go with this. Because that little thing in your brain is constantly saying, oh my God, there might be something better than this. If you just hold on a second, if you just keep looking, if you just keep trucking, there might be something better than this. Then you find something better than that. So then it's easier for your brain to say again, there might be something better than that too. Because the last time I told you something was better, you found something better. So at which point do you get to your ceiling of better? And you bounce off the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Once you hit your head on the ceiling, you bounce. Meaning the next thing is not better, it's worse. And if you keep trying to go better from there, you're actually just going to go worse. It's like your climax, as they call it. So it's a paradox of choice. It really is. So let me run this clip real quick here. Let's talk about the paradox of choice. Where's my thing at? Hopefully it's not going to play an ad. It looks like it's not. All right, I'll let it go. I hate when stuff plays ads, when you have it ready and then it's just got to play an ad because you didn't play it when you first started it. But let's go.
Typical Tinder date is efficient and non-committal. Meeting several people one after another is no longer frowned upon.
You want to get lots of matches. You want to meet up with lots of different people, but for short periods. Rather than saying, for example, I'm going to meet up with 2 potential partners and really get to know them. That's what we call low-cost logic, meaning it should be quick and not require too much emotional energy. The attitude is, I don't want to risk much or spend much money.
Investing as little as possible, yet holding people...
All right, I'm pause for a second here. I can't believe they used the freaking Lego people to do this video, by the way. I'm not even sure what this is adding to it, but it's annoying me. You could have used AI B-roll for this shit. But okay, all right. It's like you're explaining it to a damn baby. And I'm not a baby, so I feel like they're doing too much. But okay. All right,
to a high standard. After all, why settle for good enough when the perfect match might just be one swipe away? The large pool of people on the apps can make decisions harder. Researchers call this choice overload. And we start to forget how to approach...
Wait a minute. What the hell was that? What is this? Wait a second. What is this black thing right here with the white people legs? You see it? You see it? Oh, third from the left. What is that? It's got a black face and white people legs. You see what I'm saying? They're not even making the shit believable. They're using Lego people. This is a serious situation we got going on here, folks. Then you use Lego people, and then you put the black person with white people legs. I don't know. I noticed the funniest shit.
Overload.
I'm sorry.
And we start to forget how to approach a person and strike up a conversation in real life.
Yes.
If all we do is practice how to approach each other online, it becomes more and more difficult for us to do so offline. You get the feeling you can't make contact in public spaces or initiate dates.
Yeah.
Men have the feeling it's too risky to do so in a straight setting.
It is.
Women lose the ability to signal that they can be approached, even though interestingly, many want to be.
That's true.
Even when a date goes well, many users remain active on the apps.
Exactly.
fear that their partner might still be using Bumble or Tinder leads to frustration or insecurity. And ghosting, suddenly breaking off contact without explanation, is becoming more normalized.
The dating app mentality has an impact on real life too. We don't just ghost in the apps, we ghost our therapists, our dentists, we ghost the handyman we hired ourselves. Ghosting has spilled over.
Our behaviors online and offline influence each other. Today, dating apps are not only used to find a partner, but also to find friends.
Okay. All right. Was that Daily Wire? Daily Motion. Okay. I had to exhale here because they're acting like this is amazing that they put this together. They had this whole thing with the Lego people. And at the end of the day, it all makes perfect sense. Just like I said, I gave you a simple analogy about the ease of picking from 3 things versus 3,000. I'm sure when these dating apps started, so many years ago, I don't know if you guys remember, they used to have the video dating service where they would like play these videos and it was like a person sitting there, hey, my name is Steve, and you know, I like to walk around places that have vine, and I like to smell vines, and if you would like to smell vines with me, just call me at this number. It was like a whole thing. And we used to clown these folks. Like, who does that? Just go out, meet somebody, right? But that it turned into an entire business. And do you know who runs this business? Do you know who runs it? Y'all want to know who runs it? I'll let you know who runs it because anybody who's ever been on a dating app knows this. It's run by advertisers and bots. You'll be on there, and yes, there are real people on there, but there's also bots on there sending you pictures and like, you want to buy my content, and it's like an AI generated foot picture. The whole thing is a problem, but it's because we just used it wrong. There was nothing wrong with being digital. It was just people was lying, catfishing, doing all types of stuff like that. So you can't blame Tinder or Bumble or whatever the other ones were that they named for people being disingenuous. The apps themselves actually meant well. They meant to make it more convenient, but it turned into more hookup culture. And it got people even further from actually finding their person. Because they found a whole bunch of people that were what I would call suitable to their situation. Now, this is going to be hard for some of y'all to hear. In this world of billions and billions of people, there are more, in my belief system, there is always more than one person who is suitable to be your partner. Meaning they have the intellectual prowess, they have the financial literacy, they have the emotional intelligence, they have all the things you want, perfect match to what you want. There is more than one of those people in this world. And I believe that because there's so many people. And there's no way that there can't be more than one person who's suitable to help your life. Your goal is to figure out who that person is along the way. Because you'll also find you're going to meet some people that will destroy your life. And they will make it hard to live your life. So that's why it's always interesting to me that people can't seem to find a mate, when I would assume a lot of people are suitable for what it is you're looking for, man or woman. Why people are notoriously single is because most of them have a lot of options, and they don't want those options. They want the people that don't want them. They always want they want that guy that is not looking that direction, not the 10 guys that are trying to get their attention. They want the one guy's attention that is not giving them any attention, giving them no rhythm. And that's the one they're trying to impress. And dudes will do that too, because it's easy. It's like this for the guys. If a girl is just head over heels for you and she's, all over you, then you don't really have to put a lot of energy into that because that's already what it is. So you don't have to get her to do that. She's already doing it. And you just kind of keep that on the roster. This is for the young guys. Older guys, I don't recommend you do all of this. You end up giving yourself a heart attack. Okay? But for the young guys, there's going to be some different types of women that come through your life. And some of them are going to be really on you. Like they like you more than you like them. And that's really who you need to be trying to get with, is the people that like you more than you like them. Like you like them, but they like you more than you like them. That's what you need. And if you try to find that balance between two people, a person that thinks you like them more than they like you, on both sides, y'all will be together forever. I promise you. I promise you. But how easy is that going to be to find on a dating app where you can put in whatever information you want? Nobody sat you down and interviewed you and went over like your background, like really went over your background check and where you lived at and were you even married before or how many kids you got. You can put down whatever you want. So the dating app situation, in my opinion, just made it easier for people to lie about their situation and still get to meet people. Because it's harder to lie when you're standing in front of somebody. It's hard to lie on in public when you standing there, you got your family around or you got your kid. You can't say you don't have no kids. You got your child. Say, hey, daddy, why did you say that I'm not your child? You don't have time for that. So the dating apps may have destroyed something. But it is the paradox of choice that made it a problem. People always thought they had something else until they get to nothing, until the wall hits and it's all over with, until you get a good whiff of that bullshit. So I got to talk to y'all here because we got this other thing. And the most recent quote has been, and this is not me because I don't do this stuff. I'm just trying to pass this information on to my peoples because ain't nothing out there. The way that folks are now post COVID, ain't nobody really outside like that. You know what I'm saying? That's over with. Just bumping into somebody at the supermarket in the aisle or whatever. Even if you mention something, you say hello, ma'am, they'd be like, I'm not interested. They won't even look at you. So a lot of guys aren't going to approach. So it's easier to like be in a DM. You're a little more bold. You ever notice how people are way more bold on the internet because you can't see them? If you look at some of the comments under a thirst trap picture, these guys be saying all types of stuff. They'd be like, I want to suck your fart. And that's disgusting. I know somebody thinks that it's the shit. Literally. I'm not. I'm not that guy. Sucking farts is not my thing. Okay? But I'm sure that there's guys that are, and they be in the comments talking about that. I eat it from the back, all that kind of stuff. And do you really think you're going to find your soulmate with that kind of introduction? No. You're just trying to stick something. And that's what has happened. That's what happened on the dating apps. They're not trying to find soulmates. They're just trying to stick something. They're so desperate. We got to put ourselves on the slab and see who picks us and see if we can score with whoever scores with us, whoever matches with us. Shouts to Genesis came in on an interesting part. Jen, I'm sure you've heard things like this because you have some pictures and there's a lot of inappropriate men in this world, right? And they say real inappropriate stuff, like they would suck a fart. And that was where it came from, okay? I don't do nothing like that. I'm sorry. Woo. But let's have this conversation because somebody asked the question, was online dating now making us miserable? So it started with, it was supposed to bring us closer together, easier to connect with people. Then once it became so easy to connect with people became disposable, started getting ghosted and blocked and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there you go, getting blocked all the time. And once that happened, those people became more miserable. It's tough enough to get shot down in public. It's a whole, because that happens once in a blue moon. You're not going to approach somebody every time you go out. Like every time you go to the store, you're trying to pick up some lady because you might not see nothing. But the app is designed to show you something every day. It'll show you when a new person then logged in and a new person then, looked at your profile, and it keeps you on this whole, there's a new person. And it gives you the illusion, like Genesis said, of options. But you don't really have the options. You got to think, all of these people are stuck on a dating app. They're looking for something that's only available through apps, which means I like to keep myself anonymous a little bit, or I don't really want nothing serious. So I'm going to just scroll through, find somebody that ain't about nothing, and see if I can knock it down. I mean, let's just be real. It wasn't initially designed for that. Like I told you, it came from a real place. People needed a way to connect to folks that they hadn't seen like in real life, because you can meet somebody that lives 1,000 miles away from you, and with modern travel and movement and the internet, you can start a relationship, long distance relationship with somebody. So that made sense. Maybe I can't find anybody in my local city. Maybe I live in Gary, Indiana, and wasn't a lot to pick from out there. Okay? No disrespect to Gary, Indiana, but y'all was looking rough. And I have to agree that the experience of actually meeting somebody genuinely was broken by technology and social media. But it wasn't because there was something wrong with the technology or the social media. It was because there was something wrong with the people. You give a person an opportunity to lie, to Photoshop a couple of photos, to act like they're living a particular lifestyle that they're not living. You're giving them that blind spot. They're going to use it. And that is the problem. It wasn't the tech itself. It wasn't the app itself. It's the fact that humans ain't shit in the grand sense. We always will have a couple of bad apples that will figure out nefarious ways to do stuff, so much so that they had to have a whole show called Catfish about shit like that. Because we are not honest with ourselves, so how the hell are we going to be honest with somebody else? Especially when the option is I can say anything I want. I can be whoever I want. I can put out a whole different persona than what's real. Think about it. So that's why you can't trust the apps, because I don't trust people. Because humans have problems mentally. They do mentally weird shit. And that's why we have the news every day. And every time you're looking at the news, you can't watch an entire news episode without having a story. And you're like, what? Because your brain is saying, who does that? You know who does that? Humans. That's who does that. And that's why I don't put nothing past nobody. The Bible says, trust no man. So who am I to say that, God said wrong? Who am I to say that the Bible's wrong? And I mean fully trust. You can always show respect to people and love and all that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is, keep in mind that they come from the human race. The human race got weird ass chemicals, and you get the wrong chemical imbalance, and you might go and unalive your 3 children and have the internet sitting there sympathizing with you. Yeah. What's her name? Lindsay Clancy or whatever? Yeah, y'all know the story. People do wild shit. So that's why you can't put nothing past nobody. Because everybody who I've seen do some wild shit, guess what they were? A human. And they've been all different colors. So I would be an idiot to only think that one group of people can commit certain situations. Okay? So when it comes to this online dating thing, everybody on there is similarly coming in there with some, I hate to say it, some type of ulterior motive. The ladies want to just use the guys for free meals, most of them. The guys are just trying to, grab some box and ball out. They'll say whatever in your DMs, but once they meet you, they're just trying to hit it, most of them, and see how many they can get through. Anytime you call the app, what was the app? Plenty of Fish. The whole term is there's fish in the sea. There's always other fish in the sea. So if the name of the app is Plenty of Fish, that means, hey, I can go out here and cast my rod, and I'm coming back with something every time I come out here. That's what Plenty of Fish is. So if you go to these places, and let's say you're not successful, Let's say you casting your rod and you're really not getting nothing back. Nobody's matching with you. And when they do match with you, it's a bot. It's like a bot matching with you. Over time, I believe that it could make you even more lonely than you were when you started. But I'm going to let this little white girl talk about it, okay? Because I'm a little older. I'm out of the game. I just remember when it all changed up and I was like, yo, this is wild. And now I'm looking at it, wondering why, with all of this connection, let me tell you about the ratios. The marriage rate has gone down. Now, I'm sure you would think that the divorce rate would go up. It hasn't really. It's kind of stayed pretty much the same. We shitty at marriage. 75%, been that way since like the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So we're not getting better on that, guys. We're not getting better on that. But what's also interesting is even though the divorce rate is holding steady, the marital rate is lower now that we have access to this many people. That's totally backwards to me. You would figure now that you could find all these folks, you could connect with all these different people, that you could really find your person and there would be more marriages. Nope, it's the other way around. Why? Because of the options paradox or the illusion of options. And then you end up 35 years old, lonely as shit, because you thought you had all these options, which you sort of did in your 20s. And then you just kept running the streets because you're like, this is fun. You know, I don't have to settle down with nothing. Nobody can tell me what to do. And this is, like I said, this is men and women. And then you get in your mid-30s and you start being like, this is not what I wanted it to be. You get a lot of demons in you. You've been too close to people. You know, you get a lot of them bad spirits. You've been around too many other folks that had negative and nefarious shit going on in their head. That shit passes on to you. When you're sitting across the table and that person's got negative energy, if you stay there after you realize their energy is negative, it gets in you. It's like it gets into your skin. A lot of people don't understand. Energy moves, okay? And it's designed to do what it's supposed to do. So let me let the white girl talk about it before I move into the last segment series part of this convo, okay? Just bear with me a second here. Did I do it already? Yeah. Hey, did you hit the like button? They didn't hit the like button. Yo, Jen, you said it's like digging through the sewer. That's actually pretty funny. Let me see here. I gotta bring my text up. There you go. Sorry, I just realized it wasn't in the. It's not in the screen properly at this point, so I gotta bring it back for the folks that's on full screen. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta adjust my text. I need my readers to be able to read it. Some people like to read, some people don't. For the ones that do, I have to provide legible captions. All right. Anyway, let's see what this little white girl got to talk about. Oh, well, let's talk about her sound first. Let's get that going. So the actual video was called "Online Dating is Making Us Miserable." We're going to try to jump through this real
I think
quick.
It's safe to say that most people, if not all people, want freedom of choice in life.
Yeah.
Freedom to choose our careers, our partner, where to live, and how to spend our lives. And it seems to me that we want more and more options because we think that with more options, we'll have more freedom. And with that freedom comes happiness. But the truth is that having too many options isn't actually making us happy. Or at least it's not that simple. What's particularly interesting is looking at how having too many options has affected dating, especially with dating apps and online dating. So I read this piece in an article, and I want to read it for you. Have you ever lunched at a deli with so many menu items it was virtually impossible to order? When you finally manage to make a choice, you are lukewarm about your selection.
We already said that.
So for instance, it turns out that more choices lead to greater dissatisfaction. So humans seem to think that the more options we have, the more likely we are to find an option that suits our needs. But the reality is that when we are presented with an abundance of options, we are actually less likely to end up happy with the choice that we end up making. This is often referred to as choice overload, and we're even less likely to even make a decision at all if we are presented with too many options, because it causes a sort of decision-making paralysis. So in turn, more options lead to greater regret. Because when you know that there were plenty of other alternatives, you start imagining what it would have been like had you made a different choice, a better one. So that leads to dissatisfaction, even if the choice that you made was actually a good choice. So where does this all leave us with modern dating? What does it really mean to have so many potential partners right at the tip of your fingers with all these dating apps?
Hold on 1 second. I gotta address something that Jen said in the chat. She said, I don't think she white. Let me tell you what. We might look that way. We might look at her that way, right? But when black people are out, I don't see people saying they're not black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just black. He's not black. He's from Haiti. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean he's not black? Of course he's black. He's just a black from Haiti. But that's funny, though, because you're right. We would say that. Why? Because she's got the thick eyebrows. She's got a little bit wider nose than most. She actually has lips. That thing, you know, she could close her mouth all the way in between words. It's awesome, by the way. Appreciate it. But she does have that kind of skin that you can't take to the beach without the cream on it. You know what I'm saying? It will burn. But do they talk about us like that? Do they say black? I don't think they say that. I think they just it's black. He black. They black. His mama black. Somebody's black. They're not gonna say he's not black. He's only half black. He's like Patrick Mahomes, you know? He's one of the OKs. He's one of the OKs. So I'm sorry, I just had to stop with that comment because it was funny to me, because I'm like, we do say that about white people. But I don't know if white people say, oh, he's not black. He black, but he's not black. Or they talking about, when they say it, they're talking about like a black guy that has like the token black thing going on. That's what they mean. They mean, oh, he's not black. Clarence, come on, Clarence. So, yeah, she's one of the spicy whites. You got it. There's some seasoning in there somewhere. And somebody took an hour to work on them brows. Them joints is full-length brows happening on the top over there. So let me let the girl finish.
There's an American psychologist, Barry Schwartz. He has a book, Paradox of Choice. It's a really good one. Where he talks about two kinds of decision makers, basically. So he talks about maximizers and satisficers. So simply put, maximizers always seek out the best options. They're very keen to make sure that every decision they make is the best one they could have made. They want to try all possible opportunities in hopes of finding the perfect fit, and they often keep their eyes open for better options. Satisficers, on the other hand, will choose what they believe is good enough, and they won't worry about the possibility of there being better options out there. And it's not about them settling, it's more about realizing that nothing can ever be perfect. So they just choose what they believe is perfect for them, and they don't obsess over what ifs. So people are not 100% maximizers or 100% satisficers. It depends on the decision-making situation, but with dating, people are usually either or. And it seems that in today's modern dating world, most of us are maximizers. Basically, with a nearly endless amount of opportunities, it's kind of making us picky in a way, and it's making people think that the grass is probably greener on the other side, and it makes people question themselves and question their partner. Even if their partner is amazing, they just can't enjoy what's in front of them because they're distracted with the thought that maybe there's someone better out there. So that is modern dating. That was a little weird, and but several studies have shown that having too many options is making us miserable. Now, what are your thoughts on modern dating? What are your thoughts on dating apps? Do you think they're good?
All right, we get what you're saying there. What is it? Lena or Lana? It could be Lena or Lana. Her name is Lena Blakely, so shouts to her for giving us a couple of minutes of her little soliloquy there. I believe that life itself offers happy moments. And that's it. You're not going to be totally happy all the time with anybody. But you can have some happy moments. If your happy moments outnumber your unhappy moments, then you got something going on. If your unhappy moments outnumber your happy moments, then you might have to get the hell away from that person. The problem is you have to stack up these moments through the metrics, which takes time. And you may waste 3, 5, 10 years of time trying to weigh out happy moments versus unhappy moments. And your brain will make you believe that there are happy moments and more happy moments available with somebody else who may or may not hold something over your head that you did 5 years before that they never got over. But does that really mean that you have options? No. It just means that you think you have options because you don't know. You haven't been out there. You haven't sampled every food on the buffet. You haven't. And so while you haven't, you're always going to be able to say, man, I might like that better. But can't you like this enough? I'll give you an example. I love brisket. Oh my God. If good brisket, that's all I need. Throw it on a plate, give me a pound, 2 pounds of it. I don't care. And a little bit of some au jus or something, or some sweet honey barbecue or something to dip it in. But I love brisket. I would eat brisket all the time. And even if you give me a good brisket, I've been to some places where they have very good brisket. But guess what I'm always on the search for? The best brisket. I'm always looking around. Every time I go out somewhere, if they have brisket, I'm going to try it. And I'm going to decide if it's better than the one I had before. Not because I didn't like the one I had before, but because I just felt like maybe there's something better out here. Because a lot of people have brisket. So imagine the dating pool is like that. There's brisket all over the place. And if you genuinely like brisket, you'll actually like most of the brisket. Some will just be better than others. If you're satisfied with a certain level of brisket, would you eat it every day for the rest of your life? Probably not. You might want to sample a different type of brisket from a different location. So until you settle in and say, this is all I need is this brisket right here, and you're good with that, you're going to always think there's something better. So what this girl's talking about is a natural selection. It's a natural selection that we look around and the grass is always greener on the other side. That's the reason why the cliche is there. It's always greener. But I'm telling you right now, sometimes that grass is greener on the other side because it's AstroTurf over there. It's fake as hell. And it just looks greener. But once you actually get on the other side, it's just green in color, but it's not soft like the other grass, and it's rough and sharp on the edges, but it looks good in pictures. You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit. So the real question of, is online dating making us miserable? No, not specifically. It's adding to the miserability only because people have so many options that they can't pick. And for the people who are on the lower end of all of this, the ones who aren't really getting selected, it definitely makes them feel worse. It definitely makes them feel worse because they thought that maybe if I get my profile right and I'll find that one person that, is out there for me and she'll still be gorgeous and da-da-da-da-da. And they don't find nobody like that. They find bots. All bots. And they're talking to the bots, and the bots are having conversation with them, and they be like, can you send me a picture of your face, or can we meet up somewhere? And then they get ghosted because it wasn't a real person anyway. Or they try to pitch them with the whole, hey, I can't meet up with you, but if you send me X amount of dollars, I'll send you a couple pictures of me. And they try to sell foot pics and hand pictures and shit like that. This is what it's all divulged into because nobody's serious anymore. People actually used to care about linking up with another person and spending their life with them. They used to actually like it. They used to actually think it was like a good thing to do. Now everybody's talking out against it. Be by yourself and da-da-da-da-da, as if we have this super affordable society that we live in. We're being by yourself and then raising kids because they want everybody to be a fucking single parent. I don't know what that's about. They want that. I guess they feel it's easier to affect your house if there's only one parent in the house because there's not another adult to bounce ideas off of. So they want all the kids to be raised by single parents, mothers and fathers, because they found that it's much easier to mess up folks for the next 2 or 3 generations. While you not looking, they messing with your kids, if you haven't noticed, with some of the curriculum. But that's what they're working on. So part of that is disconnecting people from each other, but making them feel like they're more connected, having us all lie to each other, having us all put on a representative when we meet folks, having the women think that things are all transactional. He got to pay for my hair or my nails before I even spend 10 minutes with him. What is that? You know what it is. And shouts to Cuddy. Shouts to Cuddy in the chat. Cuddy's right in the chat. Online dating was like the nail in the coffin. It was basically saying, I can't vet people myself. When I meet them, I can't figure them out. So I trust a computer that's getting information that is not verified. Okay? It's not verified information. They just say, hey, what do you like to do? What do you do? And you put in whatever you want. You see what I'm saying? So it's not even vetting for you. It's just taking whatever information some idiot put in there and using that to try to make matches. That is a horrible way to try to actually connect folks, because there's no penalty for lying. You know, they'll say, this information is to the, true to the best of our knowledge or something like that. But literally, that's what they want. They want us all to be disconnected, but think we're connected. They want the people who are sad and lonely to be sad and lonely, because they're the ones who are more easy to flip into some goofy shit later. That's the ones that want to, walk up into a building and do something dumb because they ain't had no cooch in 5 years straight, and they've been trying the whole time. I couldn't imagine the type of stress that would put somebody through. I don't go through that. But I could only imagine if you're trying for like 5 years and there's just nobody, and you don't want to just hire a, streetwalker type. You wanted somebody who actually wants to be with you. And you can't find nobody for like 5 years. It's a sad life. And I know it's rough, but just because I don't live the life of some people, it doesn't mean I don't recognize that there are some folks out there who don't have the same life as I do. And there's some people out there who are living a life better than mine. But I always remember that somebody's having a worse time and a worse day. And that's really what it is. And although it would be nice for people to go back to the old days of meeting each other in social areas and environments, they messed up our social environments. Think about it. When you go out to the damn club, or you go to a restaurant, or you go to whatever, where is everybody? On their fucking phones. Taking pictures and looking at the food with the phone. They're not even paying attention to everybody that's in there. They're on the phone. They live on Instagram, looking at the chat. Meanwhile, there's 300 people behind them dancing, having a good time, doing whatever. Now, this is a mixture, though. Some people are on the phones. Other people are actually having a good time. And I'll be honest with that. There's just way more phones than there used to be. You even see the glow of them in the club nowadays. And I think it's to the point now that we have to be honest. Over half of the apps, like Jen just said, or over half of the marriages start online. Over half of the relationships start with an online meetup. Like somehow you got connected through Instagram or Facebook or whatever app. You were on an app and you met a person. Half of the marriages start with that. So we expect it. What the problem is as quickly as you can sign up for an app and somebody wants to marry you or whatever, can you maintain 10 years of a relationship? Can you grow in a relationship? Can you actually not be the same person that you were, just a better version of that? Can you commit to that in your relationship? And most people can't. Most people come into a relationship thinking that there's nothing about them that needs to change. They just need a person around them that can love them as they are. That goofy ass shit. What do you mean I gotta change? Yes, you do. And so when you're dealing with online dating, it's almost like you can write down that you changed, even though you didn't actually. So when you meet a person in real life, when their actual spidey sense goes off, they should be able to figure out that you ain't shit. But you got to understand, this is the most important piece of this, is that marriage rates went down. That means people decided not to get married once they had access to more people. Why? Because they realized more people ain't shit. And it sucks when you realize that. When you start to look around and you're like, oh my God, everybody's crazy. And I'm here. Think about it. When you go out in the public and you just take a moment and literally just start looking around at everybody, you will see a couple of crazy folks just in the midst. And some of them have kids. So you're like, well, how did they meet the person that they had? I've seen this before. I've seen some folks and I'm like, yo, who did it to them? And if they can find somebody, then shit, it's somebody out here for everybody. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying there's some folks out here that I just can't believe that somebody reproduced with them. Like was even able to get to the point of climax. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh. Anyway. There was an experiment here on the Tinder dating app. This is our second to last clip. Thank y'all for staying with me while I finish this story, because somebody asked me about it. And I had to have the conversation because I like a good conversation. And I believe personally that the dating apps made things worse. Some people say it made it better because you connect to more people. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think in the chat? Oh, Jen, I saw the one with the vows, with the lady saying, I'm not obeying nobody. I was going to bring that up tonight, but I left that for another show. So, but you're supposed to already know that before you get to that point. If she's saying that, she's not obeying already. Like at home, there's already that. She probably said, well, once you marry me, I'm going to do one. But anyway, I'm going to finish this segment because you got me. I forgot about that clip. That's going viral.
What's up, player? A recent study is...
Oh, I went the wrong direction. It's supposed to go faster. First of all, I don't like the way this guy came in with what's up, player. I don't like it. I think it's disingenuous, and I feel like he's just reading the script that said that. And the script is from an AI that thinks it's cool, so it starts shit with what's up, player.
What's up, player? A recent study has shown the number one fear for women dating online is that they're going to meet a serial killer. The number one fear for men, the woman they meet is going to be fat. So today, we're going to test that theory. We had our friend Sarah line up a few dates on Tinder. The catch is, when her dates arrive, Sarah's going to weigh a little more than her photo suggests.
Okay, so they're doing the whole thing.
Hi. Yeah, are you Sarah?
Yeah. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Have a seat. Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's me.
You look a little different than the picture. How old is your picture on your Tinder?
Not super old. Like maybe 6 months ago. Oh my God, you are so much cuter in person.
Thank you.
Yeah. You look just like your photo. It's so crazy. I saw you over there and I was like, I'm like 99% sure that's him.
I can't say the same. You look quite
there you
different.
go.
Oh, nice.
You look so much different than your picture.
You know, you're the first person to tell me that. Really? Isn't that funny? I think. Well, maybe two. I've been trying out this new lipstick. What do you think? I really love the color. I just love that like reds are so big this season.
I don't mean to be rude, but in your photos you're a lot skinnier.
You look kind of more voluptuous. Yeah.
Maybe if I just turn this way.
I'll tell you what. This is kind of staged, but these guys are all being kind of nice about it. They're all saying, well, you know, your pictures are you're a little slimmer. But here's the thing. Women are worried about serial killers. Men are worried about fat chicks. You got to understand, both of them are serial killers. A morbidly overweight woman can suffocate you through certain things that they can do. They can't get on top. You done. Okay? And from what I can see with these blurred faces, these guys look like they're in a little shape or whatever. So they probably picked this girl because the pictures had a little flat stomach and she was in shape in there. So that's a setup in and of itself. But if guys' worst fear was that the girl was going to be fat, she's just making the whole thing real. But let me say this. You didn't need to stage that because there's a whole bunch of fat chicks catfishing people. Photoshop is real. Canva is real. Shit, you can go on Hugging Face. If you don't know what Hugging Face is a bunch of free AI apps and some other stuff. Coding, it's got a whole bunch of shit on it. And you can get the premium for $10 a month, but even the free version, you can go in there with an image, tell it what to do to the image, make this person look a little slimmer, keep the thing ultra realistic, 4K, blah, blah, blah. These are the prompts. Go ahead and use them if you don't believe me, and it'll make anybody look fucking gorgeous. So, what's the point of an online app if you can't really trust anything that you see? You can't trust what you're reading. You can't trust the people in the chat. You can't trust that they're not bots. You can't trust any of this shit. So would the world be better if we just shut the whole thing down? Just stop it. Just get over it. Get over it like they got over the remember the company that gave out 12 CDs for 1 cent? They're finally going out of business. I think it was Columbia House or something like that. I didn't know people were still buying CDs. But the point is, at some point, we get over certain shit. So maybe this whole dating apps thing, maybe it was an experiment, didn't really work that well. And now they got a dating app for everybody. They got Farmers app, they got an Amish app, they got a person over 60, like I think you call it third degree dating or something nasty, first of all. All of it. Just think about what we have done, what results we've gotten. Marriage rate went down, so this didn't help the marriage rate. Divorce rate stayed the same, so people were already getting divorced too damn high anyway. And that's also because those same numbers include a decade of sham marriages here in America to get people green cards. So we're not going to even talk about that. So they kind of skewed the numbers with that shit. But you get my point. We're only talking about like 1,000 marriages among the millions that have happened over the last decade. So out of that million, 1,000 of them was some bullshit. Shouts to the street team for the new subscribe over on the YouTube side. So let's let the thing finish, but I'm just saying they didn't have to stage this thing with the fat girl. What was the social experiment? I thought the social experiment was going to be more about like if people said they were into something and they find out they're not into it. Like if you show them a skinny picture and you're a fat girl, what are you expecting their response to be? In my opinion, their response has been pretty damn respectful up until now. So I don't know what they're about to say, but up until now, I was expecting somebody to walk up like, damn, something like that. That ain't you. That ain't you. Because that would be something I would say. Like, yo, you was lying like hell in them pictures. What you doing? And you already got appetizers with your fat ass. Anyway.
No, I don't think that's it.
No. Oh.
No.
Well, hey, different is good, right?
Depends. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yes.
So you clicked on my profile for a reason.
Are you pregnant?
No, I'm not pregnant.
Do you like to eat?
I do. Yeah.
I have like a 13-course meal out.
Oh my God, that'd be great. I'm sorry, you seem really uncomfortable. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm just a little agitated when you expect something to be some way and it's not.
This is me. It's all about, what's inside, I think.
Some people see it that way, some people don't.
I've been on Tinder for about a month now, but I don't really, Tinder's not really my thing.
Oh, okay. More of a Match.com guy.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about online dating anymore. So,
oh.
Yeah.
I really don't appreciate people lying.
The dude just left.
It's very upsetting. I'm a little upset. I wasted gas and my time to come over here, and I can't do this.
All right, cool. So we get it. But what I'm saying is it's kind of dirty to set people up. So what was the social experiment? To see if they would be upset? Who wouldn't? Let's start with that. Who wouldn't be upset if they were expecting, Sophie Cunningham and they got, freaking, who's a big one? I can't say Fat Amy because she's not fat no more. But you know what? Even that. You know what I'm talking about. You're expecting a little slim little Sophie Cunningham type of chick and you get a Fat Amy. You know what I'm saying? That's disingenuous. It's wrong. It's wrong. And it was wrong for them to do this to these guys and waste their time. So hopefully they got compensated for that because that's goofy. Let's see what their outro says. since they got an outro.
Hey guys, so we did the same exact experiment with the roles reversed. Click here to find out what happens when a guy puts on a fat suit. Also, be sure to...
All right, the same thing happens. People are going to be upset. I could have ran this whole thing for you. Who is this? Kong Fam is the name of the person. So is this a family of Kongs, or is this Kong's family? I don't know. But Kong Fam, it's probably his name. Kong Fam is doing really good on Tube. He's got 2.35 million subscribers with shit like this. So I could have told you the whole thing without doing an entire skit on it. But whatever. If you lie to a person on the app and they walk up on you and you're fatter than your picture, they're normally going to respond a certain way that would say that they're dissatisfied with what they're seeing. That's a natural response. Why the hell did y'all set up all... You know what? That was some bullshit. Sorry. I didn't know that was happening. That was bullshit. I'm so sorry, Jen. I didn't mean to do that. I thought it was going to be something where, like, they were a person in a fat suit and they met the person and they were smaller than they were in the fat suit, or like something where they came to him with the fat suit and they showed him a picture and they said that was an old picture, but now I'm a smaller person, and they see how the person reacts to that. That would have been a little bit better. But yeah, that was goofy. That was pretty goofy. And these guys got 2.35 million subscribers with that shit. Goofy. But let's understand. We're on our last clip here, so we're getting ready to get out of here. And we're not gonna watch this whole clip because I just don't fucking have the time. I'm just being honest. I don't have the time. If you feel like checking out the clip for our last segment, you can go and check it out on your own. Yeah. But yeah, you get it. We get it. With the test. What was the test? If I see a person that doesn't look like they looked in the picture, I'm not supposed to act like they look like the person. What are you talking about? That was all natural response. If anybody didn't respond like that, they're the ones lying. They're the ones being disingenuous. So that was a stupid ass experiment. Just wasting time. Put all that makeup on that girl for nothing. That's all I'm saying. You know what? I got a good... You expecting Sophie Cunningham and you get that girl, what's her name? Audi something? The big girl, 55. A lot of y'all don't watch women's basketball, but there's this chick named Audi something. Her name is Audi, like the car. And she's about as big as an A4, A6. Okay? And she definitely not a Sophie Cunningham. Okay? Not that Sophie Cunningham is a model or nothing, but she's a very slim, petite white girl. You know, blonde hair. She's like one of those, you know, Barbie girl look. So that's why I used her as a reference. I know she's not the prettiest woman in the world. I'm just saying. I didn't say Caitlin Clark, okay? We know Caitlin Clark has a great personality and is a good basketball player. But she is not... Sorry, I'm not even going to say it. So... Make sure that before we get to this last segment, you go over to the like button, press it. If you're on the Kick side, make sure you throw some emojis in the chat so I can see you over there. Because Kick is different. They don't tell you when people follow you. You just in the stream and you're like, oh shit, we got some new followers. Whereas YouTube, actually, I get an alert about it. So doesn't mean don't go over to Kick. I'm about to do way more stuff over on the Kick side. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you why. Because now I got this new camera. I don't know if y'all noticed. My shit is real clear right now. Like, I'm in like 8K. I feel like I'm looking at myself from in myself. It's wild. And so now I can go out into the public and it not look like the old episodes of CSI Miami with that yellow tint. Like, always just look smoggy and tinted. That's how my camera was looking on my old situation. So now I got a new camera. And now we're doing something big. So I appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Make sure you support the channel in whatever way you can, whether it's by getting the merch on Freeman Services, whether it's by sending a super chat, whether it's by sending a Cash App, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, or sharing the live, pressing the like. You know, there's a lot of different things you can do that don't involve money. If you're one of those people that doesn't have money, you know what I'm saying? Help out where you can. So let's get to this last segment here because it is interesting to me that the Tinder CMO comes back later and says that Tinder has caused app burnout. So they created all these options, and then the options created burnout. So now the people at Tinder are saying you shouldn't use Tinder that much. Oh, they got their money, and now they're good with that. Cool. All right, let's finish this out, because I'm getting tired of it. Like I said, they did a pointless experiment at 2.35 million subscribers to just go out there and tell us something we already knew. Get out of here. Anyway, let's see what we got numbers-wise, guys. Who's over here? Shouts to anybody stopping in on the YouTube side. Appreciate y'all. We got about 35 people sitting on this live right now. Let's make sure that you guys go ahead and hit that like button, and we will keep going into the next segment here in the last segment of tonight's purge of said bullshit. Okay? And I'm only staying on the tube right now because I didn't piss off YouTube yet. And I can tell by the numbers, we're over about 4,000 on this stream on YouTube, so I'll stay over here. YouTube's been a little weird with me the last few weeks, and so I've had to split the streams between Kick and YouTube, and I now know that they have certain topics you cannot cover on YouTube, no matter how much you try to nuance the shit. So this particular topic, I could cover. And so that's why I'm like, all right, I'll keep it on here, because I'm not showing any fights. I'm not showing any police officers doing police officer goofiness. I'm not showing the president doing anything goofy. I'm not showing the other members of the government doing goofy shit. I'm not showing anybody with handicaps doing goofy shit. So this is a perfectly ad-suitable episode for YouTube. So we'll see what they say at the end here. But let's make sure that this thing actually plays. Okay.
Let's dive in.
All right, we're diving in. Hold up, man. Ain't no speed on this. I can't speed it up.
Being here. Maggie, it's awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we aren't
let's
seeing
talk
this.
about dating and relationships and sexting and all the things. You have probably one of the most interesting jobs at one of the most interesting moments to have the job, but it's probably always interesting. This is the most fascinating,
They sound stupid
fun,
so far. Wait.
challenging, exciting, heart-wrenching job I think I'll ever have. I literally don't know what I could do after this. It's
Mateo, one of the things I'm always struck with
You
is
sons of bitches. Sorry. It's ads. I don't like ads. It's like, feels like traffic. I don't like traffic. But no, Jen, the keywords are important. For those who are creators like myself, I recently have found that actually adding the tag ad-suitable is helpful to the damn algorithm.
At Forbes, we have our affiliate partners, Forbes Health, did a study last year that showed that 78% of actually all daters say they feel sometimes, often, or always burnt out, exhausted, anxious when they're interacting with dating apps.
I'm not in the dating pool, so I don't know. How do y'all feel burnt out?
Dating app burnout. How does that manifest in your job as CMO?
It makes the job hard. Tinder's the biggest dating app in the world. We're number one in 160 countries. We're not just the biggest for heterosexual daters, we're the largest gay dating app in the world. We're in over 109 countries. We have 3 billion swipes a day. But one of the most fascinating parts of my job is working with anthropologists, sociologists, the Kinsey Institute, therapists, psychiatrists.
What
the meta shifts and the cultural changes and the time spent on our phones has made connection really hard.
Look, if you talk about anthropologists,
you probably see that with friends, or if you know someone who's in high school, or you have a kid in high school, or someone in college. Time spent outside of your home is down 40 to 60%, and that's youth sports, that's religion, that's in-person time. It's across the board.
I don't like her voice. I'm gonna let it go, but I really am just not doing it. You want to have
a partner or a boyfriend, or a flirt or a date, but you don't have the muscles to have interactions, to talk, to ask someone out. And so what keeps me up at night is how, as the largest dating app in the world, how do we help you feel a little more confident?
This
how
is
do
what
we
keeps
make
her up at night?
the pressure ease a little bit
Not
to
the
like get
fact
you
that
out
she's
there?
kind of reminded me of the guy from the Saw. Look at that face. Look at it. I'm just saying, this is the person that's running Tinder. So I'm not going to go all the way through this clip. I thought she was going to say something a little bit more profound, but she's not
Or how do
moving
we
quick
think about
enough.
community? How do
I'm
we do
3
more
minutes in.
IRL? So it changes the way we think about getting you out there. And dating, Maggie, has always been hard since the dawn of civilization, right? Like, the word dating doesn't even exist in most languages, especially in the Middle East and Asia. And
Well, that's because they knock the women over the head and say, "You're mine," and then it's kind of like the wedding.
The right word. It's always been hard, especially for women. We've seen advancements, but we need to see
is
more
a tough word.
progress and see more agency and autonomy
Dating.
for women around the world. But yeah, there are a lot of forces that make it harder.
I want to get into the IRL and community aspects of what your job is before we get into the sociological dive that we could probably spend hours on.
All
But
right,
there's
well,
kind of a
we're
simple
not gonna
question
do that.
here. How do you serve as chief marketing officer for a company and an app that so often on Reddit, on social media, gets a lot of hate? There's a lot of headlines about Gen Z is over dating. They want no more swipes. They want everything IRL.
Good. Get rid
But
of this
you
shit.
have
To market a dating app.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I keep in mind with that sentiment is we've always hated dating. And it's hard to find folks that are like, I love dating. This is so fun. I can't wait to go out again. And this was true when I was in my 20s in New York City before dating apps existed. So part of what you have to kind of think about when you hear that sentiment is folks have never loved dating. And so anybody that's in that space, you should expect to be very vulnerable and humble about those feelings. Dating is hard. It's really hard and requires vulnerability.
She
and
got a
yourself
ring
out
on her
there and
finger,
rejection.
so it
it's
wasn't that
always
hard for
been
her.
hard. What I think about a lot is the anxiety that we know Gen Z has. What I think about a lot is the time we're spending on devices. What we hear from 20-somethings every day is, I want to spend less time on my phone.
All right, it's too much.
Like, I figured out a way to show that, or I figured out how to make it easier for you to realize that you've got something in common with Mark,
Yeah, but Mark's
a tool
lying.
potentially, or maybe an impediment. I don't know. AI. I know you've gotten questions about will Tinder introduce AI partners?
It's already there. It's already there.
How do you look at the role of AI? Let's start from business to consumer. How is Tinder using AI to either grow the user base or better engage with those who are already on Tinder?
So the tools in AI on the marketing side are quite interesting and quite powerful. And that we could have a whole 2-hour conversation on that.
Yeah, don't do that.
When I think about the product tools, AI is playing a really exciting role already.
What role?
Here's a fun insight for you. The thing that takes the longest in setting up your Tinder profile is photos. Can you guess how many minutes the average person takes to pick one photo for their Tinder profile?
Does consulting friends count in this time?
Yes, it does. That would count on the ticker. We're counting that.
I'm going to go an even hour.
You know what? You're not far off. 33 minutes is the average amount of time that it takes to find a photo.
So what, the AI is better at it?
AI photo selector tool. We'll do it in less than 2 seconds. We'll find photos for your profile. And it's based on the data of what we know works on Tinder. So
it sounds
there are ways we're
disingenuous
using
as well, though.
AI
Something's
there.
not right
Trust
here.
and
I don't
safety
like this.
is a huge investment for Tinder and for all the brands at Match Group, the company we're part of. AI is a really exciting tool to accelerate those. Specifically, I'll give you an example. We have a tool called Are You Sure? And Does This Bother You? If we detect that a message you're about to send someone is inappropriate or harmful or sexist or something else, if it's quite obvious, we're going to block that message immediately.
Whatever.
But AI has made that so much smarter, context and tone. And so we'll say, are you sure? Is literally what pops up. And it basically is saying, are you sure you want to send this? If the recipient marks this as inappropriate, you could be kicked off of Tinder for the rest of your life, basically, is kind of what that says. And on the recipient end, let's say, again, we weren't sure if it's clearly in violation of what you how you should act as a human on Tinder, we're going to block it. But if we're not sure, we'll say, does this bother you? We weren't sure about this message, and make it very easy to block and report based on that message. And AI is making that tool so much smarter. So the trust and safety applications of AI, we've accelerated that quite aggressively at Tinder.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear what she's talking about. And I'm going to tell you why. Because she's saying that they made it safer, but we're talking about this thing for the last hour, and it hasn't been made safer. And we just did an experiment with fat people, and because everybody knows about catfishing. So I don't believe what she's saying. I don't believe you. You need more people. And she is boring, Jen. She is. And this is the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. So she's supposed to be as exciting as it gets. That's the marketing. This is your PR. But the truth is, she made a mention of something. I had to look it up. She mentioned Match Group, which initially was Match.com's owner, or at least the one that I knew was Match.com's owner. So Match.com is owned by Match Group, but Match Group also owns Tinder. They also own Hinge, Plenty of Fish, and of course, the Match.com. So that's 5 or 6 sites that are all designed to do the same thing. So if people are on all of these sites, because you can get on most of them, you can get on all 4 or 5 of them, the company knows that you're on all of them. The company is not here for your good. They're here to advertise to you. This is a publicly traded company. This is not. So here's the thing. I haven't been on a dating app, but I'm sure there's a monetary situation attached to it. It might not start out that way. It starts out free. They give you a couple of good free matches, so to speak. Then before you know it, you got a subscription to it. And then before you know it, you got 5 subscriptions to 5 different sites that are all owned by the same people, meaning they probably have the same database of folks in there, and they just move them around, make you think you met new people. No, it's the same people. Same leads, same AI, same company. So AI has changed how we meet each other, but it's only changing the fact that it's telling us who we match with that we can't see. So it's looking around in the metaverse for people with these qualities that we've said we wanted, and then they got some qualities they said they wanted, and they put the stuff down, and it just matches those up. It's really not rocket science. So the problem with it not being rocket science and it not being verifiable, it just leaves too much room for people to be on some goofy shit. And that's what I'm saying. So it hasn't made things better. It's made it easier to cheat, for one. It's made it way easier for people to lie about who they are. And I think at the end of the day, it's different for men and women, obviously. Men's experiences on the dating apps and women's experiences on the dating apps are totally different. That's why the man's worst fear is a fat chick, and the woman's worst fear is a damn serial killer. That's totally different. When men go out on dates, they're not worried about whether or not their date is a serial killer. But there are women who are worried about that, and they should be, because there's a lot of male serial killers on these apps. They, Uber drivers and all types of weird shit. So that's why the women no, I'll get away more. I don't want nobody up front. So think about that. This is not progress, guys. This is actually regression. We just don't know what it is because there's so much technology involved, and they keep telling us that we're moving forward. But if you look at the evidence, and the evidence says this app has declined marriages, this app has declined honesty, this app has actually declined dating and actual courting, turned it into a transactional situation, whether it's a subscription or just a transactional date. You give me some food, I give you some fish. I'm going to say it in cold words, but you get my point. People are just doing things for the transaction and not dating with intention, as it would be called. They're not intending to marry. They're not there for their wife. They're there to get the next fish, and then throw the fish back into the water and go catch another one. And that's men and women. The women are looking for tricks. A lot of the guys who are on the apps are willing to throw a bunch of money out there to try to get what it is that they want, because they're looking for women. So they don't mind throwing some money out there. But then sometimes, this is weird, I know it is, there are women that have money and they're looking for guys, and they'll offer the dudes money. Like, hey, if you come over here, I'll pay for an Uber, I'll pay for the food, just bring your sexy ass over here. They get real aggressive too. So don't think it's just the guys that's a little nasty and aggressive in the DMs. Women are like that too. It's just the guys don't really complain about it. They're like, it's all right, she's a freak, you know? Guys are like, oh, I didn't know she was like that, she a little freaky. But women are like, oh my God, he's so creepy. Why would he do that? So ladies, y'all be careful. But I think we all should be careful, because one person will say that dating apps are great, like this lady saying, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And then everybody's on Reddit, Yelp, wherever the hell else, talking about dating apps are a nightmare. And both of them are telling the truth. The intent is good. The intention was to bring people together who were not physically in the same location so that they could meet in a way and have things in common before they even meet, you know. But then the humans came up in here, started lying, and we realized that the profile itself is not the actual person. So the online dating just lets you build this representation of yourself. You get the best pictures. That's what she was just talking about. Our AI will pick your best picture. How does the AI know what's your best picture? It has its own algorithm that says this is what people are looking for. They want a strong jaw. They like this angle. They like, you know, and it comes up with this is your best picture. And you just go with it. You ask it about lighting. What's the best vacation? Just throw a dog in there. They like puppies. If you're the kind of guy, hey, you got a dog, you put a dog in your profile picture like you're holding your dog or you're with your dog, oh man, you're going to get you a couple ladies, because there's a lot of ladies that like dogs. So the AI will know that and say, hey, you should use this picture where you're holding your dog or your dog's jumping on you or whatever. Because everybody loves dogs. But see, eventually, you have to show up. And the person on the other side of that phone or that app has to actually meet you. And that's where the dating experiments get interesting, like that fat suit thing. But the fat suit was just a metaphor to the fact that there are people that represent themselves as slim, and then you meet them and they're fat. I've seen this before. Happens on all types of apps, Instagram, Facebook. That's why you're always looking for the full body shots. Because somebody can have a real nice looking face, but you don't see the mitts, you don't see the little chubby knuckles in the pictures and stuff like that, and you just see their face, and you're like, oh, she's slim, and then you turn out she's 4'10" and 272 pounds. You see what I'm saying? But her face still looks good. Be pretty as hell in the face, but she looked just like a bubble walking across the floor, just floating. I'm sorry. Anyway. So, how much of modern dating is actually just attraction based on the person, or is it attraction based on the profile? That's what happened, is now you're not attracted to the person, you're attracted to this profile of a person. Because your profile can be adjusted. You can lie. Your personality, eventually that's going to come out. And eventually somebody's going to understand that you're annoying as shit. And they're going to understand that they don't want to deal with you. That's what dating is. So dating apps ain't really dating. Real dating happens when you are in front of a person and you can assess the situation properly. You can see, for the guys, you can see how a woman acts towards the wait staff at a restaurant. That tells you a lot about her. Is she being rude to the waiter? Is she being one of those kind of people that's not satisfied with nothing? Like, finds a problem with everything on the table, and you're like, oh, that's not even a thing. You know, my napkin was on the left side and it should be on the right side. Shit like that. You find out a lot about a person when you're out in the public with them. So, like I said, maybe the apps themselves are not the villain. It's the people. Because Tinder's former CEO basically just argued that having access to more people would actually help people be able to figure out who they want. And it's not a stupid argument, because if you only meet 5 potential partners in your whole life, your options are limited. You'll probably not have a problem figuring out which one you're going to deal with. But if technology allows you to meet hundreds of people, maybe you actually become better at recognizing compatibility. So maybe the problem isn't the app. Maybe the problem is what people do with the options. So now that you have these options, you out here tricking, you out here running the street. And that's where this conversation got uncomfortable. So let me bring a full staff over here, pause, so we can finish this thing out. So like I said, we might be blaming technology for the problem. But the problem, like I said, is human behavior. Maybe the dating apps didn't destroy dating. Maybe they exposed dating. Maybe they exposed the fact that we were lying anyway, that we're showing up with representatives. Maybe they exposed how badly people are actually communicating and actually vetting each other. Maybe they exposed how badly a lot of guys deal with rejection and handle it. How much validation certain people need. How quickly most people become bored. How much attention people want. How much their appearance matters. Or how tall you got to be. There's so much that this is exposed that we have to understand that at the end they realize we get to a point where we understand how difficult commitment has actually become when you believe something better is always one swipe away. And I think that's a much better argument. So like I said in the beginning, let's put the numbers on the board, because we're not going to sit here and pretend that the correlation automatically equals causation, as they say. That's bullshit. But the timeline is interesting. The American marriage rate has generally declined since the mid-2000s. And at roughly the same time that smartphones, social media, and eventually dating apps became embedded in our lives. It's literally, you can look at the data. This is really what happened. So the question isn't, did Tinder cause the decline in marriage? We can't honestly say that, because what happens to marriage and commitment when the dating marketplace becomes virtually unlimited? Historically, your dating pool was limited by geography. It had to be where you was at, your neighborhood, your work, your kid's school. You might meet another parent, something like that. Like, it was all limited to your geography. Now, your dating pool is potentially the entire planet that has access to the internet. And then when the pool gets bigger, does commitment actually get easier? No. I think it becomes harder. And that's the plot twist. That's where the whole thing gets funny, because apparently the dating apps were realizing at the end that people are tired of dating apps. You heard the CEO say, Gen Z is just trying to log out of it. They're tired of swiping. And if you can't get Gen Z to keep it going, then by the next, Gen Alphas and Betas and whatever they're doing now, it's going to be a thing of the past. We'll actually laugh about it later. Even the dating apps CMO realizes that people are already tired of dating apps. So we created this technology to help people find people, right? And then we gave them endless people. Then they got overwhelmed by the people, and now they got burned out by having so many people. So now we're building AI to actually help and find the right people. But the real problem is we got the wrong people on the apps. So what we're saying is the problem with all these choices is that there are too many choices. Let the machine choose for you. And then it's like we just spent 10 years letting the machine choose for us. And now we're like, oh, we need another machine to stop the first machine. So what the hell are we really doing? We realized that this thing didn't work a long time ago. People have been talking their shit about catfishing. Like I said, there's been a whole show. I don't even know how many seasons Catfish has had, but it's been on for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And so the question is very simple. By giving over the authority of decision-making and understanding to this algorithm and to this AI and to these apps, did we actually lose our ability to discern other people? Maybe it wasn't the dating apps that destroyed our ability to find somebody. They actually made it easier. That is true. But what technology changed that made something really a whole deep conversation is it stopped our ability to actually look. It stopped our ability to actually network. It stopped our ability to actually gain a genuine interest over someone, or meet somebody at you know, the gym, or you know, at the supermarket, or even church. For those that go to church, that was a great place to meet people, because people were normally had the right things on their mind. But over the years, that's one of the worst places to meet people, is at the church, because they like to take advantage of folks, because a lot of people are very faithful and open-minded. When they get to church, they think that they're meeting the person that God sent them, and really they're meeting the person that the devil sent to that church to wreak havoc and see who he could run around corrupting and disturbing. But anyway, back to the point. So I believe it stopped us from being able to see. It's like we got these dating apps, we put all the trust into the apps, thinking that the apps were able to see something we couldn't, and really the apps were no better at dealing with people and understanding people than we were ourselves. And by us not actually having to do it and keep that blade sharp, we have now gotten bad at it. Now people get over on folks all the time because they can't even understand and see what's going on. And it's because if there's always another option, another profile, another match, another message, another possibility, it's like a video game that never ends. I don't like video games that never end. I like the game to have 10 boards, and at the end you fight the boss, and that's the game. Games that never end is how dating apps are. It's a never-ending game. And then you finally decide that this is the person you want to build with, because a relationship isn't really built by finding the perfect person. It's built by two imperfect people deciding that me and you gonna figure some shit out together. And that's the part that technology can't automate. An algorithm can calculate compatibility, and it can calculate it with a personality that was fed to it, and it can compare some interests that you gave it, and it can recommend somebody, and it can look at your zodiac signs and all this kind of stuff, but it can't actually make you communicate. It can't actually make you an interesting person. It can't actually make you be a forgiving person. It can't make you a person that's future focused. It can't make you grow up. It can't make you commit. And it damn sure can't make sure you stop swiping. So the question isn't, did digital dating destroy our discernment? The question was, did we become so good at finding people that we forgot how to choose? And I think that is the question that we need to leave with on this purge of the bullshit, because I believe that folks have just forgotten how to choose. They're looking for the fun time. They're looking for somebody that serves a purpose that's really just in your life for a season. They're not there forever. Some people are supposed to just be there for a season, and we end up locking them down because of, you know, the fact that we're no good at choosing anyone. And because we're not good at it, we choose the wrong people all the time and end up in situations that we can't get out of. So we can't blame the dating apps, guys. We got to blame ourselves. At the end of the day, those selections were made by us. If you chose to spend any more than 2 seconds with a person after you realized they were on some goofy shit, that's your fault. And if you didn't realize they was on some goofy shit when they was on some goofy shit the whole time, that's also your fault. So don't blame the dating apps anymore. Don't say that the dating app is the problem. The problem is us. The problem is we've decided to disconnect from actually meeting people. And in public, guys go up to a woman, they'll call them a creep. So guys stop introducing themselves. They never walk up to say, hey, ma'am, what's your name? I think you're attractive, and if you're not busy later, maybe we could go have some coffee or something. Or can I get your phone number? Remember those days? Remember you used to get a phone number? And that was like the thing. Now they want to give you the Instagram at. I'll give you my Instagram. Oh, so I can just be one of those 1,000 dudes in your DM that you ghost when you feel like it? No. But this is the world we live in, guys. This is what it is right now. So the real question is it going to continue? I feel like it's going to end. I do feel like after I just heard this boring-ass lady talk for about 5 minutes, that's all it took. 5 minutes of my time, and she bored the shit out of me, but I heard what she said. They don't know what to do. That's why she said, we're constantly working on trying to figure out a better way for you to meet people. Meaning, what's already in place isn't really working. Because if it was working fine, we wouldn't need to be trying to find better ways to do it. It'd be fine if it was the way to do it. It's not fine. Even the CMO, she's married. Y'all saw the big ass rock on her finger? Now, I guarantee, she didn't find her husband on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, but Twitter. Tinder. But I guarantee she probably found him, at a millionaires gala or wherever she was at, interacted with some folks, rubbed some elbows with the right people. They said, hey, Cindy or whatever your name is, I need you to come meet Greg, and put them together that way, the good old-fashioned way. Even though they run the apps, I guarantee they did not meet on apps. They met in real life, made a decision that they were going to do some shit together. And so I'll leave you with this tonight, guys. The decision that you're going to do some shit with somebody and do this life thing with them, it's not an easy decision. It's actually a pretty hard decision. But if you're given the wrong information, you are going to waste the resource that you can't replace. It's your time. That's what I tell you guys. Your time is more important than your money because you can always create money. You cannot create time. Simple as that. So if I invest my time in going out with somebody who's totally lying to me from day one, that's a total waste of my time. So above the money that was spent for the date or whatever is going on, they're wasting your time. And if you waste my time, that's like the ultimate level of disrespect. And then people get into these situations. They get a crazy one on the other side of the table, and he didn't want his time wasted, and now he's kidnapping them, throwing them in the trunk. And if he's a white Christian, that's what they say. AI thinks that they're dangerous, probably because of apps like that. So let's just be honest about this shit. Even the CMO realizes that people are burned out by this and realizes that the problem is people don't go out no more. She said it. I only had to hear a couple of minutes of her, and she hit all the keywords. People don't go out no more, so we were trying to help them because they're not finding nobody, and so on and so forth. But the numbers don't lie, y'all. Marital rates went down. And is it that marital rates went down because people weren't meeting each other? No, it's because they were meeting too many people. And they were like, well, damn, if I'm going to lock one down and I got 10, and I'm going to run this 10 until all of a sudden the wall hits, 35, 40 years old, maybe 45 for some that age differently. And then you're like, oh, shit, I just wasted 20 years of my life on some goofy shit. Now I'm trying to settle down, and you end up settling down with somebody who you might have known for years or something like that, and they're just good friends. And you're like, damn, I wish I would have settled down with somebody who was just really good to me years ago instead of trying to run this game. So I'm telling you right now, if you continue to run this game, you will lose. The big wigs have already figured it out. They're already looking for a way out. That's why they got 6 different apps, and they market them to you as if they're different, but they're all owned by the same people, just like Facebook and Instagram. They market them to you in a certain way that's different, but it's really just the same people. Now, I will say with Instagram allows certain things that Facebook don't. I'll be like, Instagram allows some things that are way closer to nudity than Facebook would allow. So that difference is there. But in general, they're still kind of the same platform. They got a bunch of ads, bunch of sponsored pages and stuff like that, and they're intended to make you interact so they can figure out your interest, and then they'll run an ad. Hey, don't you need to put your podcast on TV? How you know I'm podcasting? You see what I'm saying? So all of these apps are designed to advertise something to you. These dating apps were designed to advertise people to you. You want to talk to more people? You pay the monthly joint. If not, you might get one match in a month or maybe none. And maybe the one match you do get is a bot. But the second you pay for it, you'll get a few back. Why? Because you spent some money. So you are known as a money spender in the app. So they send you to other people. It is more generous with his money is now a characteristic of you. So understand, this thing is just building a network of what it thinks you are. But we're human. You stand in front of me and you lie to me, I can feel it. I can feel it. Even if I don't identify that I just knew you lied. Because I'm going to weigh the lie. All right, I see you lying. But I could argue with you about this little goofy ass lie you just told me. Or I could just know you lying and keep it moving. Because sometimes people tell little white lies. Sometimes people tell lies just to protect themselves from embarrassment and accountability. And sometimes I don't want to argue with them about the fact that they're hiding from themselves. So I'll listen to a lie. I would literally listen to a lie and let it go right through and let that person think I believed it because I didn't say nothing back. But at the end of the day, I heard the whole thing and I knew exactly what was going on. So that's what you need to understand with these apps. Everybody's lying. Well, 95%. There's always at least a couple genuine people that literally come in there looking for a real person, but they get pushed to the back. It's the ones that are lying that get pushed to the front. And I don't know what that's about. But I do know that it's definitely some bullshit. So I'm hoping my best for anybody else who's out here in this world. If you are still out there single, whatever your situation is, there is a person in this world for you. I firmly believe it. I believe there's at least 5 people that will be a great fit for you. Not at the same time, obviously, but I believe that in this world, there's at least 5 people that will be a great fit as your partner. And this is for every person in the world. This is literally how I feel. Now, I'm not saying if you have one of those 5, you got to go cheat with the other 4. What I'm saying is there's no reason that nobody should be able to have anybody. If we're out in the world, understanding and interacting with each other. But until we go back outside and touch the damn grass and start doing things again, to go to the dog park with the dogs, whatever you do, you're just going to keep getting shat upon by the digital gods who are pushing people in your direction just to push an app and a subscription and your money. They just want your money. They don't really want you to be happy. They don't care. They love saying, 60% of these matches ended in a marriage. Well, how many of those marriages ended in divorce? Y'all never tell us that shit because we already know divorce rate is 75% right now. That's 3 out of 4. That's a lot. So if you got yourself one, stay with it, okay? Stay with it. Because we have to be honest, it's not getting no better. It's only getting worse, and it's going to continue to get worse until we get better. That's what's wrong with the dating apps. It's not the apps themselves, it's us. Until we get better at being honest, communicating, and understanding that we truly need to learn people before we start giving them everything of ourselves, our time, our bodies, whatever, this will just continue. But I have hope. I have hope for the world. I had hope because I heard the chief officer of Tinder basically saying, hey, it's rough over here because we know it's a lot of bullshit and we're trying to find a way around it. So maybe there's a way. Maybe there's a hope. But if not, in the next couple of years, just let all of this shit go away. Let all of us go back to the time before then. Maybe we use, Facebook or whatever and Instagram and you put a heart or something on something and you're hoping you're going to be that one dude that lady noticed, oh, he liked it, and then they're going to reach out to you. That shit is not going to happen. You're going to have to go somewhere. And if you want to find somebody that's on Instagram that posts a lot, track their ass down. Just don't tell them you did because they're going to say it's creepy. But track their ass down and bump into them mysteriously in real life, and that's what you need to do. Hate to tell y'all how to be a stalker, but that's what you need to do. All right? Find out where they're going to be. See them put up a flyer or something like that for some event, and you see them talking about it. You just watch. Don't even like it. Don't comment. Just watch. All right? Sorry. Some people were like, he's teaching the people how to be creepy. Well, this is the end of the show. So if the algorithm is telling me that I'm teaching y'all to do something wrong, fuck the algorithm right now. That's how I feel. And that is that bullshit. Okay? Yes. Yes. So just to give y'all a quick shout out, special shout to Jen for showing up and hanging out with us, having a nice conversation. And that's Genesis, by the way. Shouts to Drex as well. Who else did we have in here? We had, who else did we have in here? We had Drex in here. Cuddy B jumped in. Yeah, you get a gong for Cuddy jumping in. Street Team jumped in. So anybody that followed, anybody that jumped in on the Kick side, make sure you go to, if you haven't jumped in on the Kick side, make sure you go to kick.com/Purge the BS. So I can do the IRL content on that side that YouTube does not like to do on this side. Been doing this for about 2 years now. And so I got a good idea of which platforms like this and which platforms don't like certain things. So I'm not going to try to piss them off. I'm going to try to get my little bit of money. Shouts to Ascending jumping in. Ascending is still holding on the sponsor board, by the way. Sponsor board gets lit up by whoever donates $20 or more in Super Chat, merchandise, or Cash App. So Ascending being the last person, that was like a couple weeks ago, is still sitting on my sponsor board. It's not on this graphic right here, but it's on the other one. So if you're just getting here, Ascending, sorry, you're just seeing that. But you can always rewind the episode if you want to listen to what we actually fully discussed. And I do appreciate you for jumping in on the Kick side as well. Thank you for following on all the platforms, because there's a lot more to be seen as we get with this new equipment. As you can see, I'm super clear tonight. I'm in like 8K, dude. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with this. So me being me, I'm going to try to see if I can really enjoy it. You know, I don't have to be in the blurries no more. I can actually be clear like the big streamers. I can be clear like the Kai Sinats and all of those. I can be clear. So you can see me, hear me, and understand me. Because if you don't see me, hear me, and understand me, you guys already know that, my friends, is the bullshit. And we're getting ready to get up out of here. But Ascending, there goes your gong and your applause. Even though you're a little late, always appreciate it. I'm very happy to see you, and I am very happy to be here. Okay? But yeah, for real, I do have to get out of here. So I'm going to see you guys in 2 days, 48 hours. Be right back here on the channel, on YouTube or Kick. I might start early on Kick and end on Kick on the Thursday show, because I can be a little more abrasive on Thursdays. So since it's Tuesday, I'm being nice. It's early in the week. People haven't had their coffee correctly, you know, that kind of thing. So I know they're sensitive as shit. I'm not, because I got bullshit to purge. Okay? So y'all make sure that if you're out in the world and you see that bullshit, you purge that bullshit, all right? That is your mandate. I'm asking you nicely. If you see it, it's not just see something, say something. It's see something, do something. And I'm talking about that bullshit. Some stuff you just mind your business. But when you see that goofy shit, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Shouts again to Ascending, though. I didn't know you were in here chilling. I hadn't been watching the chat. I was trying to get through this topic. So, you know, once I lock in, y'all know how I do. I'll forget that there's an actual chat going on. And it's not to be disrespectful. It's just that I like the thought to kind of keep going for anybody that's just watching the show. I want to make sure that they get the complete thought and let me land the plane. So speaking of landed planes, we are about to get up out of here, because this is the end of this purge, all right? So y'all have been great, and I appreciate y'all for being great people, okay? Special shouts to my man Sonny Bricks and my man Bravo doing their thing. They helped me out with the music production. So I got these cool songs. I got all types of stuff going on. But for anybody that's a mod, make sure you keep coming back. Ascending, you keep coming back. And I wish y'all good luck out there. I'm dead serious, because it ain't real. It's really slim pickings. So, nonetheless, we're going to take y'all out with the Purge the BS horns. Kenny G Purge, baby. I'm giving y'all another second to hit the like button if you haven't done so. Because if you haven't done so, that's that bullshit. Peace.
spinning with the three masterminds on the grind, never bringing you the tea, just the facts and some acts that you really need to see. Checking in on the baddie of the week, take a seat and a peek at what's happening in the street. Whose man's body cams are the coppers on the streets, watching videos of you, watching me, never sleep. Heat! God's blessing is the message that I keep. Cold world, bad idea not to be next to the heat. Coming soon is the leak of the tunes on the street. Stay tuned to the beat, cause the goons gotta eat. Bust, 3 shots for the purge in the words. We got numbers on the head of the morally absurd. When the world starts to burn and machines stop grinding, remember this, I see my influence still shining. Hey, we locked in, stay clocked in. Yo, we coming for the crown and for top 10. When there's nothing left to purge, then we stopped in. 3 kings against the world, how we mobbing? It's the purge of the BS, land of the freest, can't nobody see us. It's the purge of the BS, land of the freest, can't nobody see us. We locked in, stay clocked in. Yo, we coming for the crown and for top 10. When there's nothing left to purge, then we stopped in. 3 kings against the world, how we mobbing? It's the purge of the BS, land of the freest, can't nobody see us. It's the purge of the BS, land of the freest, can't nobody see us.